4, 3, go. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is Juan Andrade, and this is Nuestra Comunidad Northwest Indiana with
EBE.
and we are Nuestra Comunidad Northwest Indiana, going back since 2010 and only on WLTH radio. Today is May the 29th of 2026. Can you imagine this Monday coming will be June the 1st of 2026. Right. Today is Friday. And what's our disclaimer?
The views expressed by the host and the callers of this show necessarily the views of WLTH Radio Management, owners, sponsors, and advertisers.
And so we are live on Facebook for WLTH Radio, WLTHradio.com, 1370 AM, 92.7 FM, and 100.7 FM. We are live on our Facebook page for Nuestra Comunidad Northwest Indiana, live on our YouTube channel. But before we go on, today, I'm going to do my Jesus Daily for this Friday, May 29th of 2026, and it is titled, Well Armed. And again, I want to thank Miss Tanya Perez for getting me my Jesus Daily book. And it goes like this. Take the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of God. When the Apostle Paul describes the word of God as the sword of the Spirit, he uses an interesting Greek term for word. He doesn't employ the common words logo, but the word rhema. The meaning of rhema tends to emphasize the many sayings of God rather than the unified whole book. All of the Bible is God's inspired and infallible word. But often in our hand-to-hand combat in daily life, the specific verses and sayings of Scripture are that what we need. Think of the Bible itself as the armory where the individual swords and daggers are stored. Paul's point isn't that we should always carry around a large black Bible for thumping and beating the devil, but that we should have individual verses and statements from Scripture unsheathed in our minds and ready to use at a moment's notice. When we memorize the many truths of the Bible and are prepared to use them, we've got a set of weapons to plunge into Satan as he tries to fill us with doubt, pride, and selfishness. Are you working on a memory verse today? Bible verses well memorized are stabilizers for our nerves, strengthening our attitudes, and improving our emotions. Ladies and gentlemen, the title for today's Jesus Daily is Well Armed. For this Friday, May the 29th of 2026, my Jesus Daily, our Jesus Daily. And so as always, our calling number is 219-885-1371. So we'll start with some announcements. Do you have any announcements?
No, not at this moment. It is 6 minutes after the hour.
All right. So as always, we have a high school reunion coming up for the class of 1976, as well as everyone that attended Washington High School. So all the alum are invited to our reunion, which is going to be taking place in the first weekend of September of this year. And so it's a 3-day event. First day will be a meet and greet at the Dynasty in Hammond, Indiana. Second day will be an event that will be taking place at the casino in Michigan City. And there will be a bus available leaving to go to the casino to get there and to come back on the same day. There is a fee for that. And there's going to be a whole lot of activities going on that particular day. And the third day will be a picnic at Washington Park in East Chicago, Indiana. I'll keep posting the flyer with all the information on it on our Facebook page for Nuestra Comunidad Northwest Indiana. And I believe the fee has to be paid in full by the end of next month, and that's something I need to do. Just real quickly, want to remind everyone that, you know what? Other quick announcements, July 18th, St. Patrick's Church, our one-day festival. Our band will be heavy. which they were a band for our last year one-day festival. And being summertime, there's a lot of festivals that are going to be going on throughout Northwest Indiana and beyond. So pretty much that's it in terms of announcements. So what we're going to talk about is a lot of different things here.
Well, I do have an announcement.
Okay,
I just
go
wanted
ahead.
to give you the opportunity to do
All right.
yours first and whatever you needed to say. If y'all see me yawning online, please don't criticize me. This over thing just hit me today, and I guess I need some sleep. I first of all, to the Gano family, I have not posted anything out there. I'm still in disbelief. The reason why I'm saying this publicly is because I brought Fabulous Juan on the radio here several times, and I went live on Facebook when he would do my hair, when he would color it or cut it, and I would ask the public's input. Should I do it short? Should I do it long? Should I have streaks? Should I go light? Should I go dark? Things like that, right? Just to be interactive with Juan, and Fabulous Juan would give us pointers, tips about taking care of our scalp and our hair. And so just want to give my condolences to the family. He has gone to be with the Lord. He's now doing hair somewhere else, making others look fabulous, but not here on earth. I would say that he is now healed and may hold. He endured a lot of pain. For most of you that didn't know, he always talked about the word at the chair. When he had one of us sitting at the chair, he always spoke about the word, and he always trusted God. And he says, I know that my healing day will come, whether I'm here, when I get healed on earth here, or in passing, I'm going to be with the Lord. And so I would say, well done, my good and faithful servant. He did a lot of things in the community and didn't put it all out there. And so I just want to give my condolences to the family, to the Cano family, to the church family. It's kind of difficult to believe it. So I'm still a little bit in disbelief, but I knew that he had health issues. It's just the way things happen sometimes. You're not prepared when it hits, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that's something that we all are going to have to face sooner or later, which is the eternal life for those of us that are living godly. But we're all going to die sooner or later, and so may he rest in peace. I'll see you later, when my fabulous one, so that you can make me look fabulous once again. And I had just texted him Saturday saying it's time for you to retouch my hair. I'm going to be traveling. I want to look fabulous, and so that did not come to happen. And yeah, may he rest in peace. All right, go ahead, Juanito.
All right. So at 10:05, and every Friday we're on from 5 to 6 p.m. and every Tuesday from 7 to 8 p.m. in that Central Standard Time, and only on WLTH Radio. And we hope to have, actually, we're hoping that today, with today's show, some people that I talked to yesterday will be tuning in today and are tuning in right here and right now. June the 2nd coming up, California, Iowa, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, and South Dakota will be having their primaries in just a few days. The most interesting one, of course, is going to be California in terms of their governor's race. So we'll see what happens with the governor's race in California. So,
be interesting.
Eve, so
Yes,
I've noticed this, and this has happened a lot in some cases. You go to the restroom. Usually, when you go to the restroom, you make another stop after you do what you have to do in the restroom. I'm talking about going to the sink, getting soap on your hands and washing your hands. But you know what? Not every person that goes into, and I can only speak about the men's room.
And I'll speak about the women's room.
When we're done doing what we have to do in the men's room, as I said, we go to the sink, get some soap in our hands and wash our hands.
Not everybody, right?
But you know what? Some people do what they have to do, and they walk out
Yeah.
without making a stop
Yeah.
at the sink,
Yeah.
without washing their hands, without cleaning their hands.
Yeah.
And so I wonder what they do. Or let me put it this way: do they do that when they're at home with family members and use the facility
Gross.
and not wash their hands and get their hands on every food item, on everything that other family members may touch and put in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Does this happen in the ladies' rooms, Eve?
It happens. I am doing my stuff, and then all of a sudden, I know someone just walked out of the stall and they walked right on out. But you know what? We got to talk about how we're washing our hands too. Just washing it 1, 2, 3 is not good enough. I don't know if you guys have noticed this in your homes, and this is going to tell you why, Juanito, and at your home, at mine, and everyone else's. How long are we supposed to really be washing our hands? 5 seconds? That's not long enough, because I sometimes look at the towel like, how did the towel get dirty? If you're washing your hands, well, I know how. We're not washing our hands long enough. But here's another thing, Juanito, that I noticed of a lot of people. And I always, if there's paper towel, I grab it to grab the doorknob. Because what good does it do to wash your hands if you grab the doorknob? For those that you just said you saw that walked right out and didn't wash their hands, guess what? Whatever germs they put on their door on the doorknob, you got them too. So be cautious. And this hand sanitizer is not doing its work. It really isn't. We think it is, but it's not. It really isn't. And so I encourage you all to use a sleeve, use something to grab the doorknob, but wash your hands a little longer. How about 20 seconds? How about sing happy birthday, hum happy birthday while you're washing your hands? 20 seconds. And that is giving you a better opportunity to really clean off the germs of your hands. Don't be in a hurry to wash. And then the most dirtiest thing, Juanito, that we have in our hands and we take to the bathroom is our cell phone. How often are we cleaning our phones? We have to be careful. But yes, to answer your question once again, Juanito, not every woman washes their hands either.
Okay.
Sí.
Well, so today we're
¿Quién se lava las manos cuando va al baño
Right.
público?
And one other quick thing, Indiana Filmmakers Network is a statewide organization composed of several hubs throughout the state that have to do with film and anything and everything connected with film. There is a Northwest Indiana hub. For more information about Indiana Filmmakers Network, you can go to indianafilmmakers.org. Always looking for new members. And like I said, you can go to the website to get more information about the organization, and as well as becoming a member. And it's only $20 to become a member of Indiana Filmmakers Network, and you can do that online. And so we have some more events that we're going to be doing on behalf of the Northwest Indiana Hub, and we'll have more information on that with shortly on some of the things that we have coming up. So, you know what? Sometime next month, at the end of next month, near the end of next month, looking to do a program here on Nuestra Comunidad, Northwest Indiana, about the good, bad, and ugly of data centers. Because pretty much the companies that are looking to build data centers in our communities, the people that are pushing for data centers, they're only telling the people and the elected officials of those communities part of the story and not the whole story. And that's the reason why we're going to do a program about the good, bad, and ugly of data centers next month. In particular, Hobart officials already approved a data center in Hobart. And so when these companies and people that are pushing this are promoting it, they only talk about two things. And I'm going to do only a short presentation on this because I'm going to save the rest for our program. They're talking about the jobs it's going to bring into the community, and they're talking about the revenue it's going to bring into the community. But here's the issue. The jobs they're going to bring in are temporary, generally when it comes to the construction of those data centers. And so they're talking about union jobs. And you know what? I'm all for unions. But here's the thing. When those data centers are completely built, those jobs are gone. And in many cases, the union workers that build those data centers, they're gone too. And you know why? Because a lot of those union members don't even live in the communities where these data centers are being built. So I believe that the data or the company that's having a data center built in Hobart is Amazon. And in one of these advertisements, it says that they're going to bring in hundreds of jobs and bring in a ton of money.
Yep, and I have the positions here.
But here's the point.
Please verify all your information
in 2024. Amazon just got rid of 14,000 employees in 2024. Just this year, in 2026, Amazon got rid of another 16,000 people at their company. Yet they're talking about bringing hundreds of jobs.
2 different companies.
And so here's the thing. Did Holbert provide tax incentives to Amazon? I don't know.
Why don't you
I'm
get
just
that
asking this
info?
question.
You should
But
get
here's my
that
point I'm
info.
trying to
You'll be
make.
surprised what you'll find.
But here's what the point I'm trying to make. Whatever community that has given these companies that are building the data centers in their community tax breaks, take a look at something first and foremost. Amazon, I believe, is one of the 88 companies or corporations in this country that did not pay federal income tax. Let me say this again. Amazon is one of the 88 companies or corporations in this country that did not pay federal income tax. So why should these companies that have a
What
connection
year? For what year?
this past year?
You verified that?
So here's the thing.
Did you verify that?
Why should any of these companies be given tax incentives when they're not even paying federal tax in the first place? And so they're only promoting part of the story.
Well, I have something to
At the end
read.
of next month, our show on data centers, we're going to talk about the whole story. And here's the thing. I invited 2 other guests to be part of the show.
Invite one that's in favor and one that's
And
against.
I've invited,
That would be
well,
equal.
we
That
know
way
what
we
the
hear
story
both
is, because here's
stories.
the thing.
That way he would hear
Here-
both
here's-
sides.
no, no,
We
here's
keep
the-
hearing
here-
one
okay.
side.
So here's the other side, Eve. It's doing our research about the states that already have had data centers for a certain time. That's all the research we need. And not talk
No,
about the
not
ones that
really.
are being proposed to be
Not
built
really.
now. But all we have to do is look to the states
So-
that have had data centers already for some time.
Right.
That's where
Are
our
you going to
history
hear 5
really,
people or
that's where our
5,000 people?
research is.
If 5 people
at.
are against it, you're going to hear 5 people or 5,000. So as far as the federal taxes one,
So
yes, Amazon pays taxes, but its effective federal corporate income tax rate remains very low due to extensive tax breaks and incentives for massive domestic investments and research. Financial reports outline the company's tax footprint, federal income taxes, while Amazon records billions in U.S. profits, legal deductions such as those for research, AI infrastructure, and capital investment significantly lower is federal tax bill. For instance, recent SEC filings for major tech companies, including Amazon, show effective federal income tax rates as low as 5 to 6%. The federal corporate income taxes rate is heavily reduced. The company pays billions annually in other forms of taxation, including state and local taxes, employer payroll taxes, billions in sales taxes. Y'all heard billions in
okay,
sales
Eve, but
taxes
that's not
collected
federal
and
tax.
I already read
they're not
that
paying
part.
their fair share. So Eve, let
I
me
already
continue
read
on
that
because
part.
I don't want
They are
to
paying federal
spend too
taxes
much
that are
time.
low. Well,
on
we
this.
had to inform our
Okay,
people with the
so,
truth.
Okay, Indiana
So we
promised
got to do
data
our
centers.
research.
Indiana promised data centers would bring billions in investment and thousands of jobs, but state officials weren't publicly tracking the other side of those deals. Questions from a government watchdog led the state to reveal more than $655 billion in previous unpublicized tax breaks. Money not collected is still a public cost analysis anyway.
And
So
it's
here's
brought
the
to
thing.
you by
Okay, so Eve.
brought to you by
hold on.
WXTR something.
All right, so
Go back to
okay.
Facebook.
no, hold on. Okay, Amazon will pay Jasper
That's from
County.
Joseph Pete. who's
Amazon
reading
will
from.
pay Jasper County $98 million upfront. Amazon touts $300 million revenue boost from proposed Jasper County data. So here's the thing. That money can come and that money can go. But the damage these data centers are going to do to the water, to the drinking water of those communities, the damage that these data centers are going to do to the environment, the damage that these data centers are going to do by constant loud noises day and night and day, the damage that this data center is going to do to property values and so forth and so on. Like I said, I don't want to spend too much time on this because I'm going to reserve that for next month. And I don't know what's going to happen, but I sent an email to a national figure that just got involved in the data center issue. So I contacted this one nationally known in a person who deals with the environment to be a special guest on that same show. So please stay tuned. Because like I said, again, I'll end with this. The companies that are looking to build in our communities, the people that are pushing for data centers to be built in those communities, they're telling us a story,
Right.
but not the whole story.
So, well,
So
you're
next
believing
month on
only a
Muerta
part of a story
Comunidad
too.
Ofreciana, we will tell.
You know,
the whole
there's
story.
truth. There's two sides to each story, and if someone
Yeah.
that knows their side and is against your side, call in when that happens. Right? We don't want to just go one sided, which some of the radio stations only go one sided. They're biased, and then we only get to promote one side of the story, and then we got you believing it. I don't want that. I don't like that. Think for yourself. Do your own research. Really do your own research, because everything that's said on the radio is not all fact check. And I've been proving it over and over. I even get texts from Juan, and I fact check it, and I tell him and many others of you, please fact check before you send it to me, because I'm not going to waste my time and energy on something that is not true. And I'm not here to just bring in any false pretense or lies about anything.
California mom loses over $5,000 in AI voice scam. This is not the first time I've seen articles in reference to this. A California mother recently lost more than $5,000 after falling victim to a sophisticated AI voice cloning scam. And so it is a case now where through AI, you have individuals that are using deception to actually disguise or use AI in trying to scam people. And when people get these phone calls, it sounds exactly like who that person that is not that person claims to be, and therefore people are falling for it and being scammed. So the thing is this, because of this issue with AI cloning, anytime we get a phone call and that's supposedly even from a family member that they need this money, this and that, and so forth, need right
That
away
was done for years already.
to hang up and call that person right back.
That's
Don't
done.
just follow
Yeah.
up with the
And then it's not just
saying.
AI, but because he is anti-A, he's bringing AI. He's bringing a lot of things that are happening negatively with AI in his world. But let me tell you, this has been happening for many years, decades. People calling in, intercepting NIPSCO, and it's not NIPSCO. You've got to call that number back, and you'll find out that it was not that company.
So
yes,
all I'm
you
doing is
are
trying
correct.
to inform our public.
You are
That's the point.
correct.
Okay,
I am
so-
not against it. I just want people to do their due diligence. It's not just with AI.
Okay,
I
so-
got scammed $500 through Facebook Messenger. How about that?
A California mother recently lost more than $5,000 after falling victim to a sophisticated AI voice cloning scam that mimicked her daughter's voice in a fake kidnapping call. How the scam worked. Deborah Del Mastro received a phone call from an unknown number claiming her daughter, Sarah, had been kidnapped. The caller said that they had proof and directed her to speak to someone here before she heard her daughter's voice. The voice on the line was described as sobbing and panicked, saying, "I'm so sorry, Mom. I'm so scared. I'm so sorry." This triggered an immediate emotional reaction to Del Mastro, who was ready to pay any amount to save her daughter. The scammers then demanded $5,400 be wired to multiple locations in Mexico. Del Mastro complied, only to later call her daughter and discover she was safe and work. So it's like I said, with this people that are using AI or any other whatever media device, whatever, to scam people, we can't just go and think that what the call that we're getting is correct, hang up and call that person directly, because you don't know if that may be true or not. And if it's true and you do hang up, they'll call back, I would assume, and I can't say that for sure. AI voice cloning technology. Experts, including Operation Shamrock founder Erwin West, explained that AI can replicate voice using just a few seconds of audio. This technology allows scammers to create convincing synthetic voice that sound identical to real people, making it easier to impersonate loved ones. So, warning signs. Authorities urge caution when receiving urgent money requests or demands for personal information. Warning sign, hearing a voice that seems familiar but is not from a known contact. Warning signs, being pressured to act quickly without verification. That would be another thing that they want you to do this fast, otherwise this is going to happen. So hang up right away and call that person right away. And if you get in contact with that person, they're okay, then they're okay. If you can't get in contact, then maybe and you hung up with these people, I would assume that they may call you back. So a tip, always verify urgent claims through trusted independent channels before sending money or sharing sensitive information. This case highlights the growing threat of AI-powered scams and the importance of being vigilant against emotionally manipulative fraud. So including results for California mom, no, this is something else. So here's the thing.
Where's that?
Congress has, one thing so media needs to be regulated, including
The show
AI.
needs to be regulated too, then, huh? Because it's media.
Meaning social media needs to be regulated.
I don't know where this article came
and-
from, Juan.
and,
You use Copilot.
Okay, but that's not the first article. I've seen articles like that before.
Okay, Emerson is
So here's the
reporting
thing.
in Orange County.
So that is the
Register's
thing there.
reporting. Okay.
So Congress has not done their job in a lot of things. And yet, whatchamacallit, the Speaker of the House says that Congress only get $174,000 a year. Well, you know what? There are tons of people in this country that make a whole lot less. And they're having financial issues because Congress hasn't done their job, because the president hasn't done their job. And yet they're complaining about that the people in Congress only make $174,000 a year. Plus, there's other stipends I think that they get. They get incredible insurance and the whole enchilada. So that's what I want to. That's something that I think that there'll be more programs on AI and about banning social media when it comes to youth under a certain age. And I'll tell you why. Other states in this country are in the process of doing just that. And I'll tell you why, because there's other countries right now that are in the process of banning social media for children under a certain age. This is something that this country needs to do. So,
and on that note, stop lying about your age, because the social media platforms say you need to be 16, 12, whatever the age limit is, and these kids are lying.
Okay.
And so where does the blame go? So Juan, you're always trying to say it's government's choice, it's government's control. They need to control. They're already controlling enough as it is, man. Big Brother's watching you through your phone.
Okay,
and
I'm
you don't
talking
like
about protecting our
AI,
kids
but
and
you look at
social
AI.
media.
I'm protecting them from the cell phone,
Social
period.
media is damaging our
Get
children.
off their phone. Get
Social
off the
media
phone.
is damaging our
Don't
children.
give children phones, period. That's it, Juan. That's the solution. At 12, why is a child with the phone? Make sure they have no apps on those phones. Give them a flip phone if that's the case, with no internet, if it's just for phone calls. It's all what the parent allows at home, period. That's where it starts. Whether the government controls it or not, kids are going to do what they do, okay? And also, because you're also saying that they use social media for all of these gatherings, what do you call that? It happened here
So
in Gary.
hold on that, because
You gonna
that'll
help
be
me?
the
You got
next
something?
topic.
Okay.
So, but this is something that maybe might go beyond. And you know what? Parents need to be held responsible for at least, these teen takeovers and other things. But this is something I think that goes beyond, I think, and not just teen takeovers. This is the Black Enterprise story by Candace Edwards. Georgia City moves to hold parents legally responsible for kids' offenses. A Metro Atlanta City recently passed a parental responsibility ordinance that holds parents and guardians legally and financially liable for their children's criminal actions. The Covington City Council voted 4-2 in favor of the Minors and the Parents' Responsibility Ordinance. This is very short. The ordinance is designed to curb violent youth incidents and late night disturbances. Also, The Minors and Parents Responsibility Ordinance is aimed at increasing parental oversight under the new law. Parents can face fines of up to $2,000 and may be required to perform community service if their child is found guilty of repeated offenses. You know what? Finding a parent for these situations, it's like when you have these huge corporations and they, let's say, have major pollution violations. And what does the government do? Fine them. And guess what they do after they pay the fine? They continue to pollute. So finding a parent, in most cases, may not work, or it may. But when you just find a parent for the kid doing something they shouldn't have done, it just means that they can, if they can afford so, they're just going to go ahead and pay the fine, and that's it. And that's not the purpose of trying to reduce reduce teens gone wild. It is a child. If a child is found to have violated the law, parents may face up to 90 days in jail. Offenses include curfew violations, shoplifting, and acts of vandalism. Covington council members argued that the measure is a necessary tool to address a surge in juvenile-related incidents in the metro Atlanta city. And after we talk about this, we are going to be talking about Teens Gone Wild as it relates to teen takeovers. Let me see here. Covington council members argued that the measure is a necessary tool to address a surge in juvenile-related incidents in the metro Atlanta city. We have parents that are not being held liable when it comes to their child creating a criminal act. Councilman Dwayne Turner said in the council meeting per Covington News, "I understand the logic of sometimes these kids are kids. We understand that, right? But I think parents should do a reasonable amount of effort to stop that act from happening." Here's the problem sometimes now, especially when we come to youth. Some parents have lost control of their children if they didn't take care of their children and control their children when they were tiny. And now they're teens. And now those teens are out of control. And now some of those teens will talk back to their parents. And now some of those teens may hit their parents. And now some of these teens carry a gun and more. And now some of these teens get together with other teens that think the same way and do the same way and forget the parents. So one of the things to do in the long term is for the parents to be the best loving parents they can be for their children and follow God first, follow God second, and follow God third.
When are you going to follow the parents?
While many residents like Turner, a former law enforcement officer, expressed support for the crackdown on rowdy behavior in public squares, some residents are concerned that the law could disproportionately affect families, specifically those who lack access to evening childcare or who work multiple shifts. Again, if parents, when their children are tiny, do the right thing, do the best thing, the most loving thing, and the godly thing to their children in bringing them up, they won't have to worry about those children as they get older. Just got to stay on them, stick on them, and definitely, like I said, take them to church and let them feel the love and everything else that happened to whatever church they go to.
I'll just say, Juan,
right?
In defense of the parents that have those children that are not perfect,
Right. Okay. Okay.
it's easy to
Are you
say
saying
it.
children are perfect, Eve?
It's
You just said that are not perfect.
excuse me, may
Okay.
I?
Go ahead.
You'll understand where I'm going. Hold on.
Okay.
No one is perfect,
Okay.
first of all. And we can raise our children as best as we can. And then they turn away
Right.
because they've been influenced in the wrong way. It's not always the parent's fault.
Mhm.
So it's easy for you to say, and I'm not insulting you, by no means do not get offended by it, for a person that has never had children to say what you say. in defense of the parents that have going through it, they're going through storms, because let me tell you, there are spiritual attacks, Juan, that you have not encountered because you don't have children. Just like God uses us, so does Satan use us as well. And so let me tell you that he will use those closest to you to get to you. He'll use your son, your own son that you raised and loved and cared and did the best you knew, will use him against you to break you, to get you farthest away from your own child. So it doesn't mean that they're bad children if they turn out to be certain ways.
There's different situations for different families
Exactly.
and so forth.
So loving parents continue to love them even if they turn a different way. We just got to keep them in prayer and leave them in God's hands.
I think every situation's a different
but I'm just saying,
Henderson said.
it's easy for someone to say because they have never had children.
Okay.
So.
You can't just go out here locking up parents because a child did something. You got to go through the situation.
Of course.
Conversely, Councilman Jared Rutberg believes parents bear a great responsibility to steer their children in the right direction. So also a parent, also as a parent, he expressed large support for the ordinance, which has not yet been fully approved. I have no concern about, that I could end up in front of the judge for my son acting like a moron out there, because it is my responsibility to make sure that he's doing right, Rutberg said. So that's pretty much this article in itself. So like I said, the best thing to do to prevent as much as possible your child getting into trouble with the law and everything is to raise them up to the best possible.
Know where they are.
Here's what I do understand. Sometimes you have a good male person, child, right? But then here comes girlfriend, and she's bad girl. Or sometimes you have an incredible great daughter, and then sometimes great daughter meets bad boy, and then one influences the other in the wrong way. So there's all kinds of situations.
You're right, Juanito. Let me just add a little bit to what you just said.
And one more thing, Eve. I don't know how many times I've said it on this program. I'm not a parent, and I have no children, but I know enough to talk about what comes out of my mouth.
You don't know what it's like to raise a child.
I don't know,
sure.
But I know about
what
some
it's
things
like
that
to
need to be
raise a
done.
child.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
Go ahead, caller.
You're on the air.
Well, hey, Juan, Eve, how you doing?
Yes.
Hey, Vic.
Well, how you doing today?
We're doing.
I'm good.
Oh man, what kind of crazy laws, man? Gee whiz, you want to penalize parents? Well, let me back up a minute. Probably about 45-55% of all the children in America, that's according to the statistics, are born to a single mom. Mm-hmm. Now let's be generous and say 30% of them have a partner that'll stick around, maybe. So the mothers are stuck. A lot of them, a majority of them, working minimum wage.
Mm-hmm.
Now it costs almost more money to pay for child support than it does for her to earn a living. And then you go, and then I look at that kind of scenario and say, that's really what has happened to the family.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's not let's punish dad or mom, because it's so if you understand that, if you recognize that they just shared, you can go back to say, why is it that about 50% of the population has a 6th, 7th grade reading comprehension level? That's national statistic. And then we're telling people they better learn the way I do because, of course, you're encyclopedic like I am. Oh, of course you're not. But why should I pretend that you are? And make a law to say, well, you have to be so smart to raise a child. Let's have some requirements for raising a child. You have to follow the law. I mean, come on, man. Make it the whole routine of humanity a matter of your legal authority.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you get caught up with the law because you're too poor. I've seen those cases. And now the family's separated because mom can't afford to live in an apartment and they're living out of their car. Now their child's in the
Yeah.
system. Isn't that something? Because you're
And
too
then,
poor.
and then it's against the law to camp, which is called sleeping outside while homeless.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a criminal offense.
Right.
So then we don't understand. We really want to, replace one kind of belief system for understanding what psychology really is, what psychology actually is, and how if you have a problem with people's behavior that's emotionally based, not organic, it's all about psychology,
Mm-hmm.
not wishes.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you have a massive problem, again, go back to what the average reading comprehension is in our country and tell those people to teach their kids how to read.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds kind of like, I don't know, kind of complicated there. And then you legalize what your mistakes are. It sounds kind of dumb. It's like the Kennedy Avenue in Hessville. It looks kind of dumb. What the heck you spell $10 million for light post? I mean, a horse post at every stop sign. So if you make a slight mistake, you air off your mirrors or you narrow the road so you create more trouble. Now you have to have more traffic control because you create the trouble. And education works like that too. If you don't understand between implicit and explicit teaching methods, of course, most people wouldn't.
Oh, right.
But if you're an educator, however, or if you're law enforcement, or if you're parole or probation, you're supposed to have studied sociology. And in which case, if you study sociology, you need to discover yourself, and there takes psychology. So that's before you become a policeman or a lawyer or a judge or anybody in administration that has people's lives in their hands.
Mm-hmm.
But
That's
it
right.
seems like it's just about. Anyway,
All right, thank you so
Thank you for
much.
your input. We
Yeah.
appreciate you, Vic. Have a good one.
everything.
Thank you.
Chicago mayor warns of teen trend after takeover chaos. Violence concerns grow. Calls for teen takeovers to end grow after Chicago incident. 1,000 teens swarm Florida park in takeover. 50 cops respond to hurt. Teen takeovers continue around the Twin Cities and across the country. So this is not just something that's taking place in Chicago. It's taking place in
It
Detroit.
happened here
It's
in
taking
Gary.
place in
It happened in
Florida.
Miller.
It's taking place in the Twin Cities.
It takes place where
It's
it wants
taking
to.
place
That's it.
around the country. It's taking place outside of the United
What's your
States.
solution?
Chicago parents, mentors, teens come together to discuss solutions to takeovers. I would like to go to one of these
what's your solution?
organizational meetings and so forth. So so one of the reasons why these teens do that, what I'm about to read, comes from some of those teens that have been doing that. The best solution sometimes can come from the people that are doing the wrong. Chicago debates parental role after violent teen takeovers. Let me see. MSN. Is there a okay? I gotta take out my glasses. That's crazy. Okay. All right.
We're
I don't
looking
see
for
a
the
name here.
date.
Okay, so here's the thing. But get this, ladies and gentlemen. The title: Chicago debates parental role after violent teen takeovers. Youth describe teen takeovers as an outlet due to limited, safe, affordable activities. Teen participants at the Southside Forum explained that some view teen takeovers as a way to let loose. They attributed the behavior to a lack of safe and affordable activities available to them in their communities. This perspective links the gatherings to broader systematic gaps in youth engagement opportunities. So from what I've heard in Chicago, these teen takeovers that take place in downtown Chicago are from teens in the South Side and in the West Side. And then they organize through social media to have these teen takeovers at a certain date, at a certain time, somewhere in downtown Chicago, somewhere just recently in Hyde Park, where you have the Presidential Obama Center that is going to be opening up sometime soon in Hyde Park. I wonder if he and Mrs. Obama are going to have any thoughts on the teen takeover in the very same neighborhood that their Obama Center is going to open up sometime.
Oh, I'm
next
sure they're
month.
going to have security.
So
there was security already, Juan, when we
you talk
passed
about
by.
you talk
There
about
was security
solutions.
there already.
You talk about solutions, right?
No, you do. But I'm asking, what's your solution? And I have to read
So here's the
something
thing,
about
Eve.
that on that.
First and
too.
foremost, teens use social media to organize their takeovers. This goes back to banning social media for teens under kids under a certain age.
Oh my gosh.
So at least you start here. Everyone that is caught in one of these teen takeovers will lose their social media.
Oh, wait.
Second of all,
They're
second
gonna
of
do what
all,
they're gonna do.
you hope when any teen that's arrested, and you know what, I don't know if this is true or not in Chicago. I don't know if this is true or not, but when teens are arrested in situations, they're taken to the station, they call mom and dad or whoever's their guardian, and then and there, mom and dad come over the guardian and then take them home.
Is that what you
Here's
found
what I'm-
out? That's what happens?
So here's what I'm saying. I think,
that
like I
what
said, I don't
happens?
know for sure.
Oh, okay, then
but I'm
don't
saying
speak
if
it
this,
like you know.
no, I'm just saying it. I don't know.
Okay.
So I'm not saying this as the truth. But if this is the case, I'm saying that any teen that gets involved in a teen takeover that is arrested, they need to be held for processed and held for 24 hours before the parents can come and pick them up. Third, parents have a responsibility for their children. Parents also need to be held responsibly when their kids are doing wrong and getting involved with the law. So here's what I'm saying. And I understand there are parents that have maybe lost control of their children. So here's another thing, because in one of these articles that I just read, someone mentioned community service. You know what? That would be a good solution, one of the good solutions to deal with these teens. And you know what? If these teens are coming in Chicago from the South Side, get all these teens together that were arrested, and with a massive amount of supervision, every Friday, every Saturday, and Sunday during the whole summer, you're going to have all these supervisors supervising all these teens doing community service that are from the South Side, that are doing from the South Side, and clean up their neighborhoods in the South Side. And all these teens that got in trouble that are from the West Side, you're going to have these massive amount of people that are going to supervise these students or people on Fridays, on Saturdays and Sundays, doing community service in the West Side, cleaning up their neighborhood. So guess what? They just lost their Fridays after school. They just lost their Saturdays, and they just lost their Sundays because they're doing community service. But wait, it's not just them, it's the parents. So what do we do with the parents? We ask the parents, are you able to have control over your kids, even though this happened? No one's perfect. And if the parents say, you know what, I can't control my teenage son, I can't control my teenage daughter anymore, there should be programs available to help those parents that say, I need help with my teenage son, I need help with my teenage daughter, and bring all those parents together and work with them through a program so they can get a handle on with their children and so forth. So there needs to be programs by people that have been in this situation, by people that may know, that have been involved with this, that help their children turn around for the better. It's a start, but it's something that needs to be done. Finding parents is not going to work. Curfews is not going to work.
Well, it hasn't
But
been.
you need to do a whole lot more. I'm
Right.
just saying.
And with
Response.
that,
Responsive.
there's a combination of accountability, responsibility, opportunity, community engagement. You know, we always just want to enforce after things happen and not try to prevent, being proactive, right? When this happens, it's already happened. You got hundreds of young people lost control in one certain place. Police can't do squat about it. They're told not to do anything. They're told not to touch them, but they're creating chaos. So there are real consequences. Teaching them about the consequences. Teach the parents about consequences. But let me tell you, here's a parent that gets ghetto and says, "You can't tell me what to do with my child." Okay? I'm their parent, not you. You can't force parents. You can bring them to the water, but you can't force them to drink it. Meaningful opportunities. Many teens are looking for excitement, belonging, recognition, purpose. Communities need to create spaces. There are spaces out there. There are events. There's summer programs. Chicago has them. There's paid internships in Chicago. There's programs out here. It's transportation that may be an issue that is not available. Everything costs money. That's an excuse that everybody makes because it does cost money. But how are we spending our money? When you're creating a budget, you go look at where we're overspending that we don't need to. As you mentioned, leadership programs, entrepreneurships, arts and music, sports, volunteerism, paid internships, workforce development, mentorship. That is highly needed. Some organizations already are offering mentorship, but you can't get every child in the room. You can't. There's just no such thing as that. Family support is broken. The family's broken. One is incarcerated, the other one's on drugs. The child is left on their own. Mama's got to work 2-3 jobs. I mean, I was a single mom, so I don't have an excuse for anything. Youth voices at the table. Bring some of those same kids that got in trouble to get to the table with the leaders to find out, what do you see that's missing, that's making you go out in the streets and act this way, right? So we need to work together, collaborate, because one brain may think on one thing while Juan thinks of another, Scott thinks of another, and we come together and collaborate, all to saving the future, because that is our children, period. And they're not animals. They're just misunderstood. They act like them. But what are we doing about it? Are we hating them, wanting to lock them up, or are we going to love on
Let
them?
me finish with this. I don't know how many times I talk about what I see when people are driving their vehicles on the streets, on the highways, on the roads.
I know.
You got too many people out there that I've said it before, that are driving recklessly.
Mhm.
They're just, and you know what? You don't have people just that are trying to beat the yellow light, but you got people that the light has been red, and then they go through it when it's been red, like for a few seconds. So I'm going to finish with this. For those people that are driving recklessly out there, it's time to grow up. It's time to stop driving recklessly. And let me finish with this one sentence. It's time to quit driving while stupid. And on that note, this is Juana
That's
Mandrari, and this is,
EVE,
and we are
Nuestra Comunidad, NWI.
And we want to
Yes.
thank Mr.
Thank
Scott.
you, Scott.
for
Don't
manning
touch
the
that
board.
dial, guys. Guess what? Scott, straight out of the cannon, is up next. So what are we going to talk about, Scott?
The biggest stories in local,
Biggest-
international news.
Interesting.
Oh yeah, we got a woman who was killed at a fast food restaurant.
With an umbrella?
No.
Oh, that's something else.
She got into
Ooh.
it with the manager,
Oh,
and we're gonna talk about that.
wow.
in the
So
second
stay
hour.
tuned, guys. Don't touch that dial. Nos vemos. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
weekend. Hasta luego. Wow. All right. See you. Is this it, one?
Yeah.